Hi everyone. This is exercise 3 for week 4, and the group is Priyanka, Gopika, Saurabh, Devi, and David. We have included two dashboards, one from ClickView, another one from IBM Cognos. For ClickView, we have used employee compensation data, and we have tried to highlight different segments like for per office, per salary compensation. And then we tried using YouTube top 500 videos data to create a bar chart using rating. So ClickView is much faster as compared to other tools based on its in-memory capacity, processing capacity. And IBM tool is majorly used for reporting, scorecard building, and it's basically be a business intelligence tool. Moving to the next one, which is this task was our lab exercise using the quality of life data and comparing it with different aspects. So in, in addition to what we did in the class, we did created additional data set, which additional chart using the same data, where we try to analyze how this pollution affects quality of life. So we can see from the chart itself, like countries which have good quality of life actually has less pollution. So it's related. Um, Moving to the next slide, and my colleague David would present it.
Okay, thank you very much, Priyanka. So for our task 4, we got a new data set, and we tried to visualize the data set based on the features we could find on the data set. First of all, the color group that has been used is blue antenna and automatic from Tableau. First of all, we used a bar chart for the annual reports. It was categorized by category and year, with the bar showing quantity, sales, and profit during the year. So the annual report shows sales by report based on the different years, and shows which category has more sales and which category has more profits. We used a symbol map. We use a symbol map to visualize sales by state. So from the map, we can see that the states that have the ticker blue are states that has more sales and have the highest state that have the highest sales and highest profits. Moving on, we use the line charts. We use the line chart to visualize our sales by segment. So from the sales by segment, you can see the ticker blue line is for the consumer. So this just shows that the consumer has more impact in the sales. And also, we also use a line chart to do the sales by region. So for the 4 different regions, we have the sales and the profit. So from the line chart, we can see the region that has more sales and the region that has more profit. Moving on to the next slide. So for our task 5, we asked some questions that we needed answer to. So the first question was, what distracts you in visualization? So as a group, we came together and gave some answers to this. So our first answer was visual elements that take up space but do not increase understanding. So visual elements on visualization that take up space but doesn't give any meaning can distract visualization. Elements which takes brain power to process but they do not add any information. So visualization elements that we don't understand just by seeing it can distract visualization. And also visuals that appear more complicated than necessary. So when visualizations are complicated, it's harder to understand and cause distraction for visualization. So the second question was, how much information can you really absorb from a visualization? Answers to these are information that we perceive depends on our mental processing power of our brain. So information we get from visualization depends on the processing power of our brain. Human brain has a finite amount of this mental processing power. So the easier we can process the visualization, the better. We experience cognitive load, mental efforts required to learn new information anytime we take information. And lastly, we absorb information from visualization without giving it much conscious thoughts or much effort. So, and these were the answers. These were the answers we came for the two questions that we were asked. So I'll move to my next colleague to take on the next task. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So in task 5, we are discussing about visual aspects that should be considered in a communication. The first one is alignment. So it's good to use left or right aligned text rather than centrally aligned. Also, it's good to avoid diagonal elements as it makes the plot messy, and horizontal orientation is preferred. So as an example, from these two visuals, these both plots represent the same data, but the first one is quite messy and it is difficult to interpret as the texts are centrally aligned and there are diagonal elements. But in the second plot, the texts are left aligned and the diagonal elements are avoided. So it's quite easy to interpret. The next thing is white space. The presenter must be comfortable with having white space in their visualizations, and they should be familiar with how to use the white space strategically to draw the attention of audience towards the important parts of the visual communication. And never add data just to fill the white space. Add data in order to fulfill a particular purpose, and also do not stretch the visuals to cover up the white space, and margin should be free of text and visuals. And the third aspect is strategic use of contrast. So it's an important aspect of visualization. And if there is something important that we want to convey to the audience, it must be formatted in a different part from the rest of the whole visualization. Otherwise, it would be difficult to interpret the information that we present in the plots. So these two plots present the same data. Here, these two charts represent the performance metrics of a particular company compared to the competitors. It's quite hard to assess the performance of a company from the first visuals due to lack of contrast, while in the second plot, they are highlighted the important information and they only use relevant information. So it's quite easy to compare the performance of our company with the competitors. Now, moving to the next slide. We tried decluttering of the plots that we created in the labs. These plots did not need much decluttering. Still we horizontally aligned the plots in order to make a strategic use of white space, and we used filters to enhances the dashboard selected features, giving them more access and control over the data. So my colleague Devi will be presenting the next task. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhupika. So yeah, so I will presenting about when to use which visualization. So from book of storytelling but with the visualization data, there is like a lot of different visualization type. Like one of it is like simple text. It's good when we have number or two to share, and table for great while working with mixed audience, line for showing continuous data or trend line, and scatter plot for showing the relationship between two things, heat map for showing data in tabular form with visual cues, slope graph for showing relative increase or decrease for 2 time period, and the last one is bar, work rate with categorical data when comparing them. So why we prefer certain visualization? Because human brain is hardwired to quickly pick the difference when we see in visual in our environment. People tend to associate quantitative value with some of the pre-attentive attributes. Also, using pre-additive attribute like color, size, outline, bold, underline, it also help us drawing the attention with the important stuff like highlighting. And then the third question, how changing visual aspect leads to different decision. So the first one is changing visual aspect can lead to tell a different data narrative, provide context, demonstrate how decisions relate to outcomes, highlight important shift when one category overtakes another, pattern anomalies, and etc. And the second one, it drives stakeholders' thought process and decision making in the right direction. And it also helps stakeholders better understand and analyze data. And the last one, data is scooped out to answer stakeholder question. So we're moving to the next slide. So this one, we still using the same dashboard, the one from Tax 4. So for this dashboard, we assign this to executive management, business, or technical. We use this one for CEO, head of sales, regional sales manager, and warehouse manager. So the dashboards show sales report from 2014 to 2017, and it categorized by quantity, sales, and profit, subcategory, state, segment, and region. So from annual report, the information that we got from this visualization is office supplies and technologies give an impactful contribution profit-wise compared to the furniture, even though the number of the sales is almost similar. And then we make another details of the sales by subcategories of product that we sell, which show tables and bookcase from furniture is not even reaching the break-even points during the 4-year sales, which is mean we has loss. And the executive can look deeper for what is the source of the problem, and then looking for solution how to change this. Is it by changing the manufacturing process, or we have to cut off the tables and bookcase from superstore to minimize the loss? Also, we can maximize the sales by stocking more items that sell more, such as like office supplies and technology. So by visualization grouping by state, it's showing which state are performing well and what decisions have to be made for the state that are not. Should we close the store or change it into online delivery, or it can be safe? And for the sales by segment, it shows customer has a higher number of sales rather than corporate and home office. Also, from this visualization, we can decide what type of marketing approach that we can use to maximize the sales. And then the last one, visualization grouping by region. It compares sales and profit in every region. So we can see from the line, like roughly the percentage about the profit. Is it aligned like with the sales and profit in the same line or not? And then what kind of decision can be made to improve all of the sales? So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you for watching our video.